What up, guys? Your boy Just King ZA. Welcome back to the Just King ZA podcast. And yeah, man, on this video, we're gonna be talking about the fact that there is no tribalism in South Africa. There is no tribalism in South Africa. So before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel so that the platform can grow, so that we can hit over 1K subscribers and even more, and we can grow the community. If you like this channel, if you watched this channel before, and you like it, you like the content, there's no reason why you shouldn't be subscribing. So subscribe to the channel. So let's get straight into it. There's no tribalism in South Africa because, you know why I say that? I say that because I've seen real tribalism. I've seen the real tribalism that can even end up collapsing a whole entire nation. For example, Nigeria. In South Africa, we don't have that tribalism that you find in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the tribalism that is there, it's to a point where people completely hate each other. People hate each other completely, to a point where they block each other from opportunities. I believe there's violence. I believe there's all these type of things. Like they're not moving together, to a point where it's like people are just focused on themselves. Igbos are focused on Igbo. Yoruba are focused on Yoruba. Fulani and Hausa are focused on Fulani and Hausa. To a point where, even when you ask them about Nigeria and the problems of Nigeria, they speak about each other. The fact that, no, it's the Igbo's fault, No, it's the Yoruba's fault. No, it's the Fulani's fault. No, it's this guy and this guy's fault. It's not a unity, to a point where certain tribes have never even tasted presidency or leadership in Nigeria, like the Igbos, never being president, if I'm not mistaken. But in South Africa, we don't have those type of things. I won't lie and say that there are no ignorant people in South Africa. There's very ignorant people who are tribalistic, but it's not to a place where you can say the whole tribe. No. The people that are not tribalistic, the people that are futuristic, the people that are evolved and wanting, peace, outweigh those ignorant ones. They outweigh the ignorant tribalists, so that's why I'm saying there's no tribalism, because we've defeated tribalism in South Africa. The nation is able to move as a complete rainbow nation, not just in race, but in tribes. People are intermarrying, and that's that. Zulus are intermarrying Vendas, Vendas are intermarrying Zulus, Vendas are intermarrying Xhosas, Xhosas are intermarrying Vendas. Tsanas, Pedis, all of that. People are intermarrying and there's no problem. So if there was a huge number of people that, to a point where now it's like Zulus are Zulus, what, then I would say that there's tribalism, I would say also there was once tweets of a certain lady called Jacinta. Those tweets, they seem very tribalistic, but I can understand when she apologized for it, because it does seem like jokes. It does seem like jokes are being made, and Twitter is Twitter, I can now say that. Do I think that there's a prejudice about Limpopo people in KwaZulu-Natal? Yeah, there has been, but now it's become more of like a joking type of a thing. It's like, it's no longer that serious, because Limpopo people, I think, like, even the broadcasting, commission has, the broadcasting SABC has done a great job, by giving the people soap opera like Mubango. I feel like Mubango broke down so many doors for people like Venda people, which is my tribe, to a point where we too were watched, just like Zulus were watched in generations, and Tswanas were watched in generations, and all those soapies where people could fully be into the language, and these people, Botswana, Amazulu, the Moroka family, which other families were there. There's so many families, that you can look at. Villagers family in Rhythm City, Matawan family in Isidingo, where you could fully be inside. Is it the family in Skim Sam and all of that, the different families. The Venda family was able to be inside. The Mukwego family was able to be inside, and people were able to get a little bit of a glimpse into our royalty and the way we do things. Jastiarar, what we call Ramarama, which we called the tradition of Vendas, was able to be shown on the big screen, or at least the big screen in South Africa, or and so those type of things, some people have ended up completely learning the language of Chivenda, just from watching Mbango. People were real fans of Mbango, so it ended up in us, Venda people, being celebrated in this country. We've been celebrated, and people love our culture and our respect and the way we do things. So that has done a lot, and South Africa has come a long way. The people of South Africa as a whole are progressive. We have progressed mentally. We have progressed in many other ways. But tribalism, I don't think it's something that should be said. It should be said to be a thing in South Africa, or to be a big problem in South Africa. No. Our president in South Africa is a Venda man. We've had 2 Xhosa presidents. We've had a Zulu president. We've had a Venda president. So soon we might be having a Tswana president. Patrice Motsepe. So it can be a Tsonga president, can be whatever, can be a Pedi president. That's just the way South Africa is. Nobody's saying no Venda, no Zulu, no Xhosa, no. It's about the judge of character and the judge of the works that you have done in your life. That's what it's about in South Africa. It's not about so many other things. I wish other African countries can adopt what we have adopted, which is more of like the land of the free. It's about, this is what Nelson Mandela fought for. This is what Dr. Martin Luther King fought for. They said practically the same thing. I want a society where a man is judged by his merits, his character, internal, not the color of his skin. Mandela said, doesn't matter whether the cat is black or white, as long as it can catch mice. Those are the words of Mandela. And I believe that we have caught on to those words, and we have moved those words and pushed them forward as a people. So I believe that we can clap hands for ourselves as South Africans. Congratulations to the Zulu, to the Venda, to the Xhosa, to the Pedi, to the Swati, to the Ndebele. You've done well. So, tribalism is not a thing in South Africa. We just need to get we just need to educate further the madmen and the people that are, let me not say madmen, I'll just say that the ignorant people, but of course they are mad. They're not mad. I'm not like they are ignorant people worldwide. Even in a perfect society, there's people who are just going to be spreading bad rhetorics and bad influences. Like Nizwe Mkhuno, for example, when he was talking about Limpopo, saying that Limpopo is the land of kwarakwaras, basically saying that people of Limpopo are kwarakwaras, meaning foreigners. So those are, and then he says he's joking. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But yeah, I believe he can be ignorant sometimes. There are people like that. Can you call those people agents of division or whatever? I believe it's okay. Though even in America, those people are there, and it's a large number of them, but not large enough to control a society and make a society to be like, this society is this. So yeah, we cannot. The number of good people, progressive people that have beaten the mindset of tribalism are way too many. They outweigh the other ones. They outweigh the ignorant. So the ignorant ones can continue to do their thing. Yeah, it's not a train smash because we outnumber you guys, and we will continue to outnumber you guys because we have seen what a hatred of someone based on something they cannot change has done for society. It has destroyed societies. It has created complete inhumanity, lack of peace, just complete abuse of human rights. So we don't ever want that. White people tried that, and it did not work for their. It did not work. They might have built a country and whatever, and had a good economy, but in the end it didn't work because everyone sanctioned them. White people were sanctioned at the end, and they had a very, the economy was bad. They were now under debt. They could not trade anything. The people that they thought were their partners turned on them, to show you that that thing could only work, could never work. It works for a period of time, and then human rights wins at the end of the day. Human rights over everything. You cannot mistreat people and then call yourself a good player in the world who does great things and be respected as, hey, this is the apartheid government of South Africa, hey, P.W. Botha, hey, F.W. de Klerk. These people have successfully segregated the country and have done racism so practically, so beautifully. Yeah, they've kept these monkeys completely segregated and kept them and stolen their country and put them in rural areas and all of that, and not give them any electricity and whatever. It's like being celebrated for evil, it's like being celebrated, for evil, and for racism, and for abuse of human rights. Unfortunately, if countries want to be respected and want to be players in the peacekeeping of the world, that cannot work. That can only work in medieval times. In medieval times where it's just bombings and just war and all those type of things. It can only work there. But in a world that is trying to be progressive, trying to include everybody and not be seen as monsters, those type of things do not work. So same as tribalism. It cannot work. There's no superior tribe. There's no what. No. You will find talented people in each and every tribe. You will find talented people in the Zulu tribe. You'll find talented people in Venda tribe. You'll find talented people in Tswana tribe, Tsonga tribe, Pedi tribe, Afrikaner tribe, you will find them in Kalat tribe, you'll find them anywhere, you'll find talented people. You can't necessarily say that only this group is going to be talented, only that group only. No. You need to move from a merit base. That's the only way that you can progress forward in a very, very sustainable way. Sustainability. So that you can run this thing forever and ever, and you can attract people, and you can have a great economy in terms of like doing things the right way, through tourism, through trade, through all these type of things. That's the only way, rather than an economy through segregating and excluding other people. Anyways, your boy Just King ZA signing out.